Hey guys, Captain Foley, how you
Hello,
doing?
this is Samuel Cockins.
And this is the very first episode, or first pilot, episode 0 of the Trekyards. Today we're going to be talking about the Tholian ship, or the Shard class, the Webspinner.
And had a crew. Well, let's go straight to the trivia. So, single person ship, very small, about the same size of a shuttlecraft, or two-thirds the size of a Delta Flyer.
23rd century, or the TOS era, it was armed with plasma torpedo-like weaponry.
Yeah. And obviously the crew members, Tholians, crystalline entity, very unique in the Star Trek universe.
The ship's about 15 meters long, according to Enterprise.
So, because we're doing both the TOS and the Enterprise versions, because of basically the same-ish ship, just 100 years in between. But they did say in the show that Tholians they didn't actually increase the technology much in the time period, so they're probably quite similar ships. Ooh, bonus detail. Yeah.
Next, the Tholian Assembly is the name of their affiliation, and they're originally from another galaxy. It's rumored to be, anyway, that they were refugees from another galaxy.
Which is sort of side canon, but really interesting. And then they were considered to be very warring with the Klingons, which sort of makes sense given how territorial the Tholians were and how wanting territory the Klingons were.
Yeah, and like you just said, the Tholians are extremely territorial and very punctual. If you have negotiations with them, don't be late. They don't take kindly to that.
Yeah. So onto trivia straight away. The Tholian ship was the last original TOS designed ship in the series, and it was made out of wood, the whole thing, with a little bit of silver reflective to give the extra glow. So the Enterprise version was shown in Enterprise as being more powerful than the Vulcan ships in groups, and that, at the time, Vulcan ships were the most powerful ships that we saw, so that is a pretty powerful ship at the time.
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, they were rumored to come from another galaxy, and they were refugees. And when they first arrived here, they apparently only had one type of shipyard, so they can only produce one type of ship, which is the Shard class. But they were known to magnetically link or weld the ships together to form larger classes of ships. And there's even a ship that's called the TK5, which is it's the front part is a Shard class Tholian ship, and the back part is from captured Klingon FS class ships. Now the configuration was rarely seen, but the Tholians seem to like it for unknown reasons, and it's unclear why they only use the FS hulls from the captured Klingon ships. There's no other type of hull configurations that they use, so just an interesting little fact.
We're going to skip ahead a little bit. In a TNG, or specifically for those nerds out there, 2353, when Commander Riker's dad came into Enterprise, it was mentioned that the Tholians actually attacked and pretty much destroyed a starbase, so we knew they were still active in the 24th century and still hostile.
Mm. And in the 22nd century Mirror Universe, they caused USS Defiant to cross over, phase into the Mirror Universe, which almost dragged Kirk in, which would have been kind of cool if he had actually gone in and actually met Archer, assuming that, the Tholians wouldn't have killed him.
Hey, he's Kirk, he'll survive anything.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, and a bit of behind the scenes stuff. The Tholian Web episode, the original TOS, actually was nominated for an Emmy because the CGI was so good for the time. Didn't win, but a nomination is still amazing.
And also, this Tholian ship model was reused as the Aurora class in Way to Eden. They just put on some warp engines on the side.
We tried to ignore that one.
Yes, we try.
And yeah, so the discussion. Obviously, those are the facts, but what do we think? So, I quite like the ship. I think it's got a unique design. It's sort of similar to the Borg aesthetic in the sense of sort of big shapes, sort of small shape. But I like it. It's simple. It's sleek. And I especially like the details in the Enterprise version.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like the fact that it's so small and maneuverable, and also the fact that the tractor beams are they're very high output tractor beams, so they can actually position asteroids as anchors for the web. And if there aren't any asteroids or anything nearby for an anchor, what they'll do is create what's called a globular web, which they attach two ships together, and they use the web itself as an anchoring point and create like a globe. So they don't have to actually move an asteroid or anything for an anchor. It's actually anchored to itself. So
that's cool. Yeah. Another thing I like is that when they were depicted in Enterprise, well, no, just in general, they're obviously so small, and yet they're shown to have high warp. They're shown to have strong phases, disruptors, and the Tholian web, and that's a lot of tech to pack in such a small bundle. So they are very advanced. I really like they can get that much in there. If only the Federation could too, but they do eventually. But
Yeah,
still very cool.
yeah. Well, I also like the fact that the web actually protects the ship. They can actually pass through the web without expending any extra energy. They can fire through the web. It acts like a shield. They can fire out, but it's harder for ships to get at them inside the web.
Well, we saw in Enterprise when the ISS Enterprise fired torpedoes actually hit the edge of the Tholian's web and caused more damage, and that's a damn powerful weapon. Or, well, tool. So in canon, which is a bit different, I write the Tholian web episode because the web idea is pretty amazing. Obviously, it's spider webs. It's, it makes sense, but just in the idea of it is a really good idea. And I like. Well, I think if you take Enterprise as a even bigger example, the fact that if you have many more Tholian ships together, the web becomes exponentially more powerful and effective. And imagine what a whole fleet of them would do. I mean, we only saw 2 in TOS, but a fleet.
Exactly, yeah. And it should be pointed out, too, that the Tholians successfully defended their home territory for who knows how long. There's very little known about them initially, so they were very good at keeping to themselves.
And in terms of evolution of the Starship design, we're lucky because we saw one in Enterprise and one in TOS. In canon, I like how in Enterprise they're a bit more detailed, but more bits sticking out, whereas in the TOS version, far more streamlined, far more simple. As with most things in TOS era, they really streamlined them down to look much more efficient, and that's how they evolved.
But having said that, I prefer the way that it looks in Enterprise. I like the blue.
Yes.
It just looks a lot better.
I think the blue is a much better colour than the orange we see in the remastered version. I think it suits them better, even though we know they're orange from Enterprise. So, now favourite and least favourite. My favourite thing is I like the aesthetic. I think it's great. I love such a simple shape can feel like such a cool spaceship. That's my favourite thing about the ship.
Yeah, my favorite thing would have to be the design too. It's very practical, and for many reasons, the way it's shaped, it can link together and, like I said, form larger ships, which is really a neat feature of the Tholians. And then also the fact that individually they're so small that they're so highly maneuverable. I think they're a major threat against a larger ship. So.
And then my one dislike is really just to the TOS remastered version. I actually quite liked the original studio model, simple as it was. But I thought the remastered version with the orange end, I thought it was much too dark. It sort of lost that bluey glow. I didn't like the design as much. I thought it was a devolution in terms of coolness. So that would be my one nitpick, I think.
The thing I really didn't like, it's not really ship specific, so to speak. It's more how it was used, as in TOS. The fact that there's only 2 ships. If there's only 2 small ships like that, I think the Enterprise wouldn't have had a hard time at all destroying them if it wasn't for the spatial tear and they couldn't fire weapons. Like you said, a fleet of the smaller, agile ships would be much more effective against a large ship. So I don't really have anything about the design that I don't like. Just they were kind of used in the TOS episode Tholian
Web.
Web.
That's the strange thing, isn't it? If you didn't happen to be able to be stopped in one place for 6 hours, the Tholian Web's not as effective. But with more ships, more effective.
Yeah, exactly. They could build it a lot faster.
Pretty much instantaneous. So that's our show. Wow, that went quick.
It did, yeah. This is a first take, just so you guys know. We have a lot to polish, but we're just trying it out.
And so we've already got the next ship planned. So what's the next ship?
Type 6 shuttle.
What's the Type 6 shuttle?
Type 6 shuttle.
It's the TNG design, isn't it?
Yeah, the classic one. Classic TNG. It's so sleek. I love it.
So do I. Although we have to... Oh, but as this part of the show, we have to... a bit more of a jokey segment. One of us takes the ship we've just talked about, and one of us takes the ship we're going to talk about. And this time round, I got the Tholian, and you got the Type 6. So you can start. How would the Type 6 defeat a Tholian ship?
I don't think it would.
You've got to argue.
It's only got 2 Type 4 phasers. If it's the Goddard here, the Goddard, the one that Scotty got. We got Scotty. He can take care of the Tholians. No problem. No problem. I don't know. I believe this would probably be just as maneuverable, if not more so, than a Tholian ship.
Yeah.
So it'd be a nice little try to catch me if you can kind of battle.
This is when you start going to the Mutara Nebula and they do all that jazz, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think we both agree my ship will win. You know, it's bigger, more firepower. It's got phase with disruptors and phases and the web. It can just ram you. I'm sure it's stronger. Blow you away.
Fine. No, we're fine.
Next time I'm sure you'll get me, but this time I win this one.
Okay, deal. Cool. All right, so that was our first pilot. Yep. Take it or leave it. We had a few stumbles, but we tried to get all our facts in there, and hope you guys liked it. Definitely check out the Facebook page, Trekyards, for more information on upcoming episodes or anything, and any suggestions you guys have are definitely welcome.
And as this will probably be 10, 15 episodes down the road when we release this, is a bit of a fun one. Hope we've done well so far. Hope you've enjoyed the episodes.
Yeah, I just want to point out that this was definitely a test.
I hope you've loved the rest of the series.
And yeah, so anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. This is Captain Foley.
Sam Cockins.
And we'd like to thank you for watching Trekyards. Trekyards.
See you next time.
Yeah, bye-bye.